What's going on, guys? I'm Nathan and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I do DIY projects, kayak mods, gear and bait reviews, and fishing technique videos. So if you're into that kind of thing, hit the thumbs up. Please consider subscribing and leave a comment down below of a video that you would like me to make. Today we're going to be talking about the Carolina rig. Stick around. All right, guys, so before I get to the video, I want to give my boy a shout out. If you have TikTok and you like funny videos or you like TikTok, go check my boy Oak Cliff Smith out. Give him a follow, give him a like, give him whatever he needs. He's a good dude. All right, so let's get into the video. The Carolina rig. In my perspective, what a Carolina rig is a fishing technique that I use to fish deep. I use it in anywhere from 15 to 20 foot of water, if not deeper. It's just a different presentation. So I like to think of it as a kind of like an extended Texas rig, kind of, but the weight and bait are set up a little bit different. We're going to get into that. But before we do, let's talk about baits. You can really fish anything on a Carolina rig, but one thing that you want to pay attention to is if your soft plastics have salt, because salt makes the soft plastic sink. And what you want is your lure to float above the surface of the floor because you're fishing on the bottom. So here's an example. So this is a Zoom Magnum 2 or Mag 2 Tequila Sunrise, but it has salt in it, right? Salt. If you fish something, here's another well-used bag of Zoom. This is a Magnum Finesse, also has salt. Cinco's, Gary Yamamoto Cinco, right? It sinks. So what you want is to find a bait that doesn't have any salt in it. I can't seem to find any here. I have some somewhere, but Guggen bait, slim shake worm, it sinks as well. Okay, so you want to find something that either doesn't sink or sinks very slowly. That way, when you move the weight, it moves the lure off the surface a little bit. All right. Now, let's talk about the gear you're going to need. Okay, for one, you're going to need a fishing pole and reel and some line. And then you're going to need a hook, a weight, a glass bead, and a barrel swivel. Okay. Now, let's talk about setup. Well, setup. So I like to fish pretty much everything I fish on a medium heavy fast action rod. You can go medium action on other, techniques or presentations, but for this you want a medium heavy fast action rod. And the reason is because you're throwing a heavy weight. I typically go to a full ounce weight, but I won't go under a half ounce. I have a 3/4 ounce right here. Also, I won't go under a half ounce, and that's just me. I won't go over an ounce, and I won't go under a half ounce, if that just to give you guys a little left and right limit there. For your hooks, I like to use EWG offset. That's better. EWG offset. Obviously, pick the right size for the size lure that you're using. I think that's a 3/0, maybe. I really need to label my tackle box, or my terminal tackle box, I should say. So under this weight, you saw this bead. It's a glass bead. And what that does is allow a click, and then that's tied above the barrel swivel. Okay, leader length. So your leader length, what I'm talking about is the line that goes from your swivel to your hook. Okay. You can go pretty much any length that you want to on your leader. I typically don't go over 4 feet, and I don't go under 2. When I'm on the water and I'm switching to a Carolina rig, because I don't have 25 rods, I'll take the line, I'll put it in my finger, I'll extend my arm out like this to where the line's coming out of my fingers like this, and then I'll grab the other end and I'll bring it to the edge of my collarbone. That's just like a quick guide that allows me to get a pretty decent length on my leader. That's actually what I did for this leader. So I don't have a way to show you guys the actual length. I guess that's pretty good. It's a decently long leader. And then you want to do I do an improved clench knot to the hook, an improved clench knot to the barrel swivel on both sides. All right. Now, the point of a Carolina rig, I like to fish it slow. So I'm gonna tell you how to get it out there. All right, so you're gonna make a long sweeping cast. You're not throwing the bait, you're throwing the weight. I'm a poet, didn't even know it. All right. You're not throwing the bait, you're throwing the weight. All right. So that's what you want to concentrate on throwing when you cast this. So when you cast, you want to make a long backswing into a long extended forward swing, if you will. Your casting motion needs to be elongated. Big words. And it also matters how you set the hook. You set the hook in the same manner, because you have this long leader. And if you set a hook like you normally do, like a 45-degree angle to your shoulder, what it's going to do is it's going to pull this weight off the bottom, and then in turn pull the bait out of the fish's mouth. All right. You want to make a long sweeping hook set in line with what you're trying to do, since this is on the bottom like this and your bait's up here. Okay. Right. And you set the hook. What you're trying to do is just pick the weight up like this and set the hook. Right. Keep everything in the fish's mouth so you catch that big old bass and you get to take a picture with it or turn it in the weigh-in or whatever you're doing. Right. All right. All right, let's talk about working this presentation. There are a couple of different ways you can work it. I've always used the clock method. So I'll put the butt of my rod on my leg and my hip area, and I'll use this as 12, and I'll reel down to parallel with the water. So 3, you can go even lower if you want. Excuse me. And then I'll just drag it slowly. Now, what I do different than I think what most people do is on my line, in this hand, I'll have these fingers wrapped around my pole, and then these 2 fingers holding my line as I'm dragging my pole up, right? And then I'll reel down, drag, nice and slow, and reel down, okay? This presentation typically works really good in the winter because you can fish deep cover with it. And then you can catch when they push offshore after the spawn, you can catch them on this. If you go a lighter Carolina rig, you can catch them in shallower water as well. I typically use heavy weights when I'm trying to go deep because it gets it down there and it allows me to work the bait without having to worry about the bait coming off the bottom. One of my favorite baits to fish this with is a brush hog. That's just what my dad taught me to fish it with. So it's kind of like I pay homage to him, and brush hogs catch fish. So that's why I do that. Let's see, what else do I need to talk about? That's pretty much it for the Carolina rig, guys. They do sell, I'll tell you this, they do sell cheater kits that come with like a metal rod. So it'll come through here. It'll have a tie-on point over here. It'll come through here, and then it'll have another brass plate down here and another tie point down here. So you would just use that as your swivel, kind of. so you wouldn't need a swivel. All right. I don't like to use those too often. I don't have any anymore, because it really limits you to the size weight that you use, because they come with a 1 ounce weight on them. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. If you're new to the rig, you could get one of those and just to kind of learn how to work it. But I like to be versatile in everything I do. And I use multiple things for different presentations. I'm constantly trying to switch it up, trying to catch more bass, bigger bass. So I have, one, I just love fishing. Two, I get good content for you guys. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. Let's keep the comment section clean. No profanity, please. I don't use profanity, and I would prefer no profanity used, but then again, you're adults, so you guys do what you do. All right, so I don't have any sponsors. I am, however, thinking about filling out a couple of pro staff applications to be part of people's promotional staff. One of the companies that I'm thinking about is Monster Bass, and just reading, I know that they'll give me a discount code that I can give you guys, and then you guys can get sweet discounts on their stuff. So if that's something you want me to do, or if you have other companies that you'd like me to look into, just leave a comment and I'll do my best to look into them, and I'll give you guys feedback. So that's the Carolina rig. If you like this video, I know I've said this multiple times, please subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm trying to build a community here, not to be famous, not to be rich, not to do none of that. I'm trying to build a brand and a foundation so that I can help people once I retire. I'm going to do a video of why I started the channel and a little bit about who I am and my goals for this channel and for me when I retire, probably in a couple weeks. But that's all I got. So as I always say, you guys have a great day, and let's make the world a better place.